Hello, everybody. I was just working to readjust my OBS settings here a little bit. By the quality in one of the last couple that I tried here, where it was a little bit substandard, subpar. So I've been tinkering with it here for about 20 minutes or half an hour, trying to get the audio quality back up to where it should be. And I think I finally got it. So I had to delete all the, if you're familiar with, like, most of you aren't, but if you're familiar with the OBS open broadcast software, there's like different scenes. You have like my intro, me, and then, the browser with me in it and stuff. So, and each one of them, every time I switched, from like the main one, which sounded okay, to this one, then the audio and the video quality dropped, and then when I went over to the browser, it dropped as well. So it took me a while to figure that out, but finally what I sort of did is deleted all the scenes, all the audio input sources and everything from the different scenes, and then just started over from scratch. Found one that worked, and I think it's doing okay now. Don't know for sure, but I think it is. So yeah. People who might be regulars to the channel, you might have seen some broadcasts or some podcasts come up here, and it didn't stay long for numerous reasons. I mean, me, my friend Waza, and my friend Alex were trying to create a group of people here that can come together and talk on many different topics. I'm sort of, I guess, the host because it's my channel, but I don't want it to necessarily follow like a hierarchical structure like that. So myself and Waza and Alex couldn't make it in tonight to talk, but I sort of want to make it so everybody gets sort of equal time, equal say, like on how the channel runs and what topics we discuss. So we've been very much working here behind the scenes on a structure to the channel, to make it maybe more appealing, more informative, better structured for you, the viewer or the listener, if you're listening. So that's sort of been our goal over the past week or two. And myself and Waza, we've, even before Alex sort of became a part of it, we've been discussing, we've been doing test broadcasts, just trying to get everything down. It's much more difficult than most people realize to structure a broadcast like this, not only when it comes to the talking points, but when it comes to editing, because I like to, like my channel description says, I like to do as little editing as possible. I like to sort of keep it as real, as raw, and direct as possible. Even if it takes me a second to like bring up a screen here, like in my browser, like, I might have to go over here and pull up something on, let's just pull up something like on radio communicate. I like to sort of keep it real. We're typing it, we're actually doing it as we're talking about it. So that's I don't know. I just like to, that's just my philosophy. I like to keep it real, but of course, at some point there's going to be editing. There's going to be little cuts here and there, and that's just sort of inevitable. When we hit sort of like a wall, when in our discussion, where it just has to break for a second or be cut. So this is sort of a behind the scenes, I guess, sort of what we're dealing with. I mean, we're not a big channel by any means. We're just trying to put out our views, give our viewpoints and stuff, and just talk to people, just talk to the masses. I mean, because this world is such a crazy, crazy place these days, and it's for just the average folk, the average citizen. I mean, you may not even know where to go to find information to deal with the upcoming things that are happening in this world these days. So it's confusing. It's difficult. It was for me for many years. I mean, even though I've been involved in a lot of these topics, as you'll know from the past. Um, if you've watched my early podcast stuff, I know a lot about this, but it's still even difficult for me to like really drill down and find good sources. So that's sort of part of our goal too, is to bring together good sources of information for people who may be listening, and on numerous different topics. Like, it's sort of me again. I'm sort of like the quote unquote de facto host because this is my channel and I started it. But again, I want to. My entire goal of this channel is to bring people together. Um, to come on to this channel, and if you're somebody, if you watch this and if you have something that you feel like you can contribute, leave a message, leave a comment, contact me directly through the information on my YouTube about screen. I'd be more than willing to bring anybody who wants to come on here to discuss their viewpoints or listen to any advice or feedback or philosophies, or I just anything. It doesn't matter. That's again, my entire goal for this is to bring people together from many different walks of life, many different belief systems, but different races, different ethnicities, different everything, and just talk about life in the world and whatever you're going through and whatever we're going through. And I think when people do that, they realize that the bond that connects us all is so much stronger than the media and the governments of the world and the powers that are involved. We're so much closer than they want us to be. But a lot of the times we don't know that. We don't see that on the mainstream media. Now, I watch a lot of YouTube and from people from everywhere, all walks of life and stuff. So I've come. It's actually sort of blown me away, but I've come to understand that everybody just wants to live life. They just want to be happy. They just want to they don't hold any animosity against other people. They're open to learning about other cultures and everything. It's a completely different story than what the media and the world and everything in the governments and so on want it to be. Because I said in the previous podcast, I don't know if it's published still or not, but when people, this is my quote. If I have one quote in my life that somebody could quote me on, and I might even be quoting somebody else unbeknownst to me, but when people come together, the governments lose their power. So take that to like an entire world thing. When the people of the world come together, the governments of the world lose their power over us. That's my quote. That's the official quote. When the people of the world come together, the governments of the world lose their power over us. That's my quote. So I'm just going to sort of keep it short here. I sort of, when I started, I was sort of giving you behind the scenes of what we're dealing with, but we're trying to come up with a good structure that's informative, not too long, straight sort of to the point. But there's going to be some intermediate videos like this where myself and Waza, or myself and Alex, or myself and some other random person, whether it's somebody I know or somebody who comments or wants to come on through the channel here. I'd like to, try to have little intermediate ones, little shorts, less than 10 minutes. I'm up to about 9. I'm almost 10 minutes now, but so I'm going to cut it off soon. But I just want to sort of let people know that if you're interested in coming on, or if you're interested in being a part, or if you have some suggestions for topics or so on, just leave them in the comments or contact me directly through the channel about information. So everybody have a good night, and testing my software here. Have a good night and peace out.